So, I believe that the United States should change their election laws concerning gerrymandering and lobbying. Um, Today, I will be informing the audience about the history of gerrymandering and the current ways that some politicians are trying to reform gerrymandering and other election reform options. I'm going to start with the history of gerrymandering and lobbying. Gerrymandering is a practice intended to establish a political advantage for a particular party or group by manipulating district boundaries. Elridge Gary, no, Elridge Gerry was the first politician to do this practice since the name gerrymandering. So Eldridge Gerry was actually elected to the Second Continental Congress, and he signed both the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights. He was actually one of the three men that refused to sign the Declaration of Independence because there was no Bill of Rights. Gerrymandering was first used in 1812 while Eldridge was governor of Massachusetts to reshape a state senate district in Essex County. The shape of the district ended up looking like a salamander, and the Boston Gazette illustrated this with a salamander drawing over the actual district map, and it became very popular. Lobbying. Lobbying is paid activities in which special interests hire a well-connected professional advocates, which are usually lawyers that argue for specific uh, legislation specifically in the U.S. Congress. Lobbying goes as far back as 1890, when Ulysses S. Grant was actually president. Um, Sometimes it is viewed as a bribery or extortion. And while lobbyists can't just hand money over to Congress members, lobbyists usually help Congress members to raise funds for their campaigns, like the re-election campaigns, either by donating directly to their campaign or by sponsoring a fundraiser. By doing it this way, it's technically legal under the current laws. In 2017, lobbyists spent $3.37 billion lobbying. While there are some lobbying that doesn't lead to bad repercussions, most of the lobbying that's done by corporations and for corporations is usually done for the interest of corporations and not for the actual citizens of the U.S. Most of the lobbyists are actually former members of Congress or from the House of Representatives. This is a type of quid pro quo that lobbyists use to persuade members to vote a certain way or introduce a bill that benefits what the lobbyists want. About 50% of the lobbyists are former senators, and about 42 are former representatives. Members of Congress that become lobbyists usually see a 1,400% increase on their pay. So there's a big difference. I'm going to talk about Citizens United. Citizens United versus the Federal Election Commission it was a U.S. Supreme Court case that dealt with campaign finances. The Supreme Court held that free speech clause from the First Amendment also applies to independent corporations, including nonprofit, labor unions, and other associations. Citizens United is a conservative nonprofit organization that is trying to restore the U.S. government to citizens' control through education, advocacy, and grassroots organizations seeking to reassert the traditional American values of limited government. And that's off the Citizens United website. In 2008, the Citizens United tried to release and advertise a film that was critical of the Democratic presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, right before the Democratic Party primary. This actually violated the 2002 bipartisan campaign reform, which prohibited electioneering communication within 30 days of a primary, and they were trying to release it within like 2 weeks of the primary actually. So they sued the Federal Trade Commission. I mean the FTC. They sued the FTC, and the case was taken up to the Supreme Court, where they sided with Citizens United. That decision led to practically unlimited election spending by corporations. A lot of this spending actually ends up being used by groups known as super PACs. Super PAC is a PAC is a political action committee, which makes no financial contributions to candidates or parties. This allows them to accept unlimited contributions from individuals and corporations and unions. So what is being done to fix this? You guys may be asking. In January of this year, 2019, there was a Bill for the People Act of 2019 that was introduced and passed by the House that helps with gerrymandering. The bill replaced a partisan gerrymandering with nonpartisan commissions to draw the electoral district maps. This bill now requires states to use an independent commission to design the congressional districts, and if they decline, then the federal government would set it up for the states. While lobbying shouldn't be illegal, there should be stricter regulations for former Congress members and senators and representatives about leaving public office for a lobbying firm. Currently, there are no bills that have been introduced to limit the amount of spending lobbyists can spend, but Senator Elizabeth Warren from Massachusetts and Michael Bennet from Colorado are calling for a strict lifetime ban on lawmakers lobbying. Right now, there is a 2-year wait that if you leave Congress, you have to wait 2 years to actually become a lobbyist. But it hasn't done much to actually slow down the rate of how many lawmakers are becoming lobbyists. Michael Bennet also wants to ban senior congressional staff and cabinet officials from working as lobbyists for 6 years on issues that they handled. He also wants to lifetime ban lawmakers and their staff from ever representing foreign governments. Now that I've informed you and everyone about gerrymandering and lobbying, I urge you all to pay attention to your representatives, because the Constitution was made for us, the people, not the corporations or the select few. Go out and vote for the people that are trying to make sure that the people are in the best interest when it comes to the laws. Urge your representatives to vote for bills that eliminate gerrymandering, so that the people that we vote for actually get to do a difference. Thank you, guys.